You've probably walked past galvanized stock tanks at the farm supply store 100 times without giving them a second thought. But once you understand what they can do for your garden, you'll never look at them the same way again. In this video, I'm showing you how to turn a basic livestock watering tank into a fully productive, no-dig raised bed, and we're doing the whole thing in one afternoon. No tilling, no hauling massive loads of topsoil, no backbreaking prep work, just smart, simple layering that gets your plants growing from day one. Head to any farm supply store, Tractor Supply, Rural King, or your local co-op, and look for a galvanized steel oval or round stock tank in the 100 to 150 gallon range. That size gives you roughly 2 feet of depth and at least 6 feet of growing length, which is enough room to grow tomatoes, squash, peppers, herbs, or root vegetables without crowding. Avoid the shallow livestock feed pans. They don't give your plants enough root depth to thrive through the season. A new tank runs between $80 and $150 depending on your region, but used ones at farm auctions or online marketplaces cost a fraction of that, and a few surface scratches don't affect growing performance at all. Galvanized steel also outlasts most wooden raised beds by decades, so this is a long-term investment in your garden that pays off every single season. Before anything goes into the tank, you need drainage holes drilled into the bottom. This is the most critical prep step and the one most people forget. Flip the tank upside down on a flat surface and use a power drill fitted with a 3/8-inch metal drill bit to punch 8 to 10 holes across the bottom in a loose grid pattern. Space the holes roughly 6 inches apart so water can drain evenly from every corner of the bed, preventing pooling in any one spot. If you skip this step, your layers become waterlogged, your roots suffocate, and you lose your plants regardless of how good your soil is. This entire process takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and is honestly the most physical effort the whole build requires. After the holes are drilled, set the tank permanently in its final location before you start filling. Once the layers go in, it becomes extremely heavy to move. With the tank sitting in its permanent spot, the first layer that goes in is plain cardboard covering the entire bottom surface. Overlap your cardboard pieces by at least 6 inches on every edge, so there are no gaps where weeds or grass could work their way up from below over time. Remove any plastic tape, staples, or glossy printing from the cardboard before it goes in. You want plain brown corrugated or newspaper only, nothing synthetic. This cardboard layer does double duty from day one. It acts as an immediate weed suppression barrier, and as it slowly breaks down over the following weeks, it feeds carbon to the microbial life building up through the layers beneath your plants. Think of it as the biological foundation of your entire growing system. It sets up everything that comes on top of it. Any plain cardboard you have around the house from shipping boxes works perfectly here, so this layer costs you nothing. On top of the cardboard goes your first organic material layer, and you want coarse, carbon-rich material for this base. Straw, dried leaves, shredded cardboard, or wood chips all work perfectly here. Add about 4 to 6 inches of material and leave it loose rather than packing it down, because air needs to move through it freely. This open, airy brown layer creates the drainage foundation of the bed and gives the microorganisms below a carbon source to feed on as decomposition begins to work upward through the stack. This is the same foundational principle used in hot composting and lasagna gardening. You are building alternating layers that break down into living soil together, rather than hauling in expensive pre-blended material bag by bag. The more varied your brown material is, the richer the biological diversity you create in the bottom of your bed. The next layer is your nitrogen source, and this is what wakes up the decomposition process and gets the biology actively working. Fresh grass clippings, vegetable kitchen scraps, coffee grounds, or a thin layer of finished compost all work well here. Aim for 2 to 3 inches spread evenly across the top of the brown material below. You don't need a large volume of nitrogen material for this layer, just enough to create a carbon to nitrogen balance with the coarse base beneath it. This combination of carbon and nitrogen is exactly what drives active composting activity, meaning the material below will heat up and break down faster than it would in a cold outdoor pile. The plants in your top layer will feel the benefits of that decomposition within just a few weeks, as nutrients begin releasing and moving upward through the soil column. Add one final thin brown layer on top of the green material, just 2 to 3 inches of straw or dried leaves, to lock in moisture and keep the nitrogen to carbon balance intact throughout the stack. Then comes your top and most important layer, 4 to 6 inches of finished compost or a quality bagged garden soil blended with compost, spread smoothly across the surface as your actual planting medium. This top layer is where your plants will live and feed, so choose something rich, dark, and well-draining. Finished compost, aged manure blended with topsoil, or a quality organic potting mix all work well for this final layer. By the time all 5 layers are complete, the tank should be filled nearly to the rim, and the material at the bottom will begin actively decomposing within the first week or two. That ongoing underground decomposition feeds your plants continuously throughout the entire growing season without any extra effort from you. Before we water this in and get to planting, take 2 seconds right now and hit that like button. It makes a real difference in helping this channel reach more gardeners who are looking for practical, no-chemical growing solutions just like this one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now, so you don't miss the follow-up video on how this bed performs through the full season. With all 5 layers in place, give the entire bed a slow, deep watering before a single plant goes in the ground. Use a watering can or a hose with a gentle spray attachment and work from one end of the tank to the other, letting the water soak down through every layer, rather than running straight off the surface. The goal is to get the entire stack consistently moist from top to bottom, not waterlogged, but evenly damp all the way through so decomposition can begin immediately. You'll see the layers compress slightly as they absorb the water, which is completely normal and actually helps the materials knit together as they start breaking down. If the soil level drops more than an inch after watering, simply top it off with a little extra compost before you plant. This initial watering also shows you whether the drainage holes are working correctly. You should see water draining freely from the bottom within a minute or two of starting. Now comes the most satisfying part of the entire build, planting. Because the top layer is finished compost or quality garden soil, you can put transplants directly into the bed the same afternoon you build it, without waiting for the lower layers to fully break down. Press each transplant gently into the compost surface, firm the soil around the root ball with both hands, and water each plant in immediately after setting it in place. If you're starting from seed rather than transplants, the smooth compost surface works as a near-perfect seed bed. Sow directly and cover with a thin layer of fine compost or vermiculite to hold moisture through germination. Within just a few days, you'll see your plants responding to the rich, loose, well-aerated growing environment the layered system creates beneath them. The metal tank also heats up faster than ground beds in early spring because the galvanized steel conducts warmth from the sun, giving your plants a meaningful head start over in-ground planting. Over the first few weeks, you may notice the soil level inside the tank dropping slightly as the lower layers compress and break down. This is completely normal and is actually a sign your system is working exactly as it should. Simply top dress with a little fresh compost if the level drops more than an inch below the rim to keep your roots fully covered. By mid-season, the cardboard and straw layers at the bottom will have partially converted into a rich, living soil that feeds your plants passively from beneath without any additional fertilizing or amendments. The metal tank also holds moisture exceptionally well, compared to open ground beds, which means you'll water less frequently once your plants are established and the layers below have settled. At the end of the growing season, add a fresh layer of compost right over whatever material remains, and your bed is fully recharged and ready to go again the following spring without any digging or rebuilding. Here's exactly what we did in a single afternoon. We selected a 100 to 150 gallon galvanized steel stock tank and drilled 8 to 10 drainage holes across the bottom before positioning it permanently on the lawn. We lined the base with overlapping plain cardboard, then built alternating brown and green organic layers on top, and finished with 4 to 6 inches of rich finished compost as the planting surface. We watered all 5 layers thoroughly to activate decomposition and planted transplants directly into the top layer the very same day. No tilling, no heavy soil mixing, no complicated preparation, just strategic layering that builds living soil from the bottom up and improves with every single season you use it. This method works whether you are brand new to gardening or have been growing for years, and the stock tank gives you all the benefits of a traditional raised bed at a fraction of the cost of custom lumber. Once you build one of these, you will want to build 3 more. If this video gave you a practical idea or saved you some time in the garden, please hit that like button. It makes a genuine difference for this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up video on how this bed performs through the full growing season, and drop a comment below right now. Tell me what you're planning to grow in your stock tank bed, or share your best tip for filling a raised bed without breaking the bank. I read every single comment, and I would love to hear what you are working on out there.